Mortgages should be illegal because you're getting robbed every month. With a typical $200,000 30-year mortgage, you'll end up paying over $400,000 after interest. Hi, I'm John Commuta, creator of the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. My proven system can eliminate your mortgage and all your debts. Let me send you a powerful free CD. For your free CD, call 1-800-933-2911. 1-800-933-2911. 1-800-933-2911.
Blog Talk Radio.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Welcome to Superhero Academy. This is your host, Crossfire the Crusader, and on the line I have area code 847. Who have I got today?
Hey, this is MK. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. Sad about Electron Boy. It's touched my sister very deeply because she's been following his story for a while.
I'm looking forward to hearing from her, and Charlotte's your sister?
Oh no, my sister has been following the story. So no, I'm not related to him.
Okay, I'm waiting on Charlotte Foote. She's going to be calling in. That's Electron Boy's sister, and we're going to be hearing firsthand about his adventure, his day with Spider-Man and Lightning Lad and fighting Dr. Dark and I can't remember the sidekick's the supervillain sidekick's name, but
sidekick's name was
Blackout Boy.
Blackout, yes.
Yeah. Those of you that are not familiar with what we're talking about, young boy, we will call him Electron Boy. His real name is Eric. Eric was born basically with half a heart. He suffered liver cancer, kidney cancer. Basically, he had a mess of problems, physically. And when he was asked by the Make-A-Wish people what he wanted for his wish, he said he wanted to be a superhero. And if you look on the Facebook page for the Superhero Academy, there's videos of the entire day, everything that went on, interviews with his parents, stuff like that I've linked to from YouTube. But in one of them, his adopted mother, she tells that when they told her he wanted to be a superhero, she figured, he was going to get a superhero costume and it was going to make, that was going to be his wish. And they went the extra every little bit extra on this. I'm sorry I'm a little congested today, so I have trouble talking. The Make-A-Wish people took Eric and they made him into Electron Boy. He designed his costume that he wanted and had a professionally made costume. They basically took over the city of Seattle for a day. They had the police escorting from place to place. They shut down traffic on the highway. He had his own supervillains, his own superhero sidekick. He got the key to the city. I mean, it was just an amazing thing. If you haven't watched it, I just tell you, go back and watch it because you will just be blown away. Everywhere he went, people had signs cheering him on, "Go Electron Boy." I don't know how many thousands of people were involved in this. And one of the things that we had today is his sister, Charlotte, was going to come on here, and she was going to take us through it from inside the family's point of view, because this was one of these cases where, and it says in one of the interviews, it's a matter of not adding life to your days to your life, you know. It's a matter of adding life to the days, and every day is a given for him, and this Make-A-Wish thing for him kept him going for months. I mean, it was all he talked about. It was the highlight of his short life, and so I'm hoping some of the Seattle people, I know Phoenix Jones had got to meet him and a couple others, I'm hoping some of them get to call in, and looking forward to hearing from his sister here. So in the meantime, you said your sister's been following this pretty much. What's your thoughts? I mean, how's what do you see from your point of view? And she's so enamored of? Oh, I got area code 206. 206. You're on Superhero Academy.
Oh yes, sorry. This is hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And I got area code 847.
Hey, it's Moon Knight again. Sorry. Hey, it's Moon Knight again. Sorry. Yeah.
I lost one game. Is this Charlotte?
Yes, this is Charlotte.
Awesome. We are very glad to have you on here. I was kind of giving a little rundown of Eric's story, of Electron Boy's story, and looking forward to hearing it from the first hand here. Just kind of tell us how did just tell us a story. I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Just kind of tell us, how did this all begin? How did he come into this situation where he was going to become Electron Boy? I'm understanding he had some training sessions with Spider-Man before it all happened and some other things.
Yeah, he did. He was sick, and Make-A-Wish had come in and said that he, would be able to have a wish granted. And at the time, we didn't know he was terminal. And of course, I guess they do life-threatening. They don't necessarily do only terminal. And so, we asked him, what do you want? Do you want to go to Disneyland? And no, he wanted to help people. He said, I want to be able to make a difference. I want to save people, and I want to help people, and I want to be able to run fast and do all the stuff that I can't do. And so they thought that was a good idea. And so we just thought that, that's great. They'll make him a little costume, and he'll pretend to be a superhero. Well, the first thing that was really neat was there was this man who plays Spider-Man, and he's a personal fitness trainer and a climber, so he really is a convincing Spider-Man. And he came to Children's, and he met with Eric, and they did some training sessions. They went to a climbing wall, and the whole family got to go, and my kids got to meet Spider-Man, and it was just a real neat deal. And Spider-Man went really above and beyond. He became friends with Eric, and he'd Skype him, and he'd email him and call him and see how he was doing, and that really lifted Eric's spirit. So that's what the whole Spider-Man thing was.
And then the day Eric designed his own costume too, didn't he?
He did. He got he sat down with a lady who I believe she worked for Seattle Children's Theater, and she volunteered to help him, and she sat down, and he designed his costume, and it had to have yellow in it, which is his favorite color, and he designed this whole costume around this Electron Boy. He wanted to be Electron Boy. So so he got a costume, and Eric, he's the sweetest kid, and he loved dressing up. I have 3 children of my own, and so I've had, probably 8 different baby showers between all of them, and Eric attended every single one, each time dressed in a different costume. I had, I think, Superman at one of my baby showers, and Spider-Man, and once I had a magician, and so he just loved dressing up. So to have a custom made for him was really neat.
I guess by the point with just the costume and the Spider-Man visit, he already was pretty much overwhelmed with the wish so far, wasn't he?
Yeah, and honestly, we thought, wow, this has been real fun, and then we were told that his wish, all we really knew about it at first was that he was going to go to Puget Sound Energy and turn the lights on. So in our heads we pictured that we'd all go, just a family, and he'd go flip a switch, and we'd say, yeah, you saved the building. We just didn't have a concept of what was happening. And what was really amazing is what happened is that the city of Seattle just kind of galvanized around this, and everybody wanted to help. It was one of the biggest wishes that Make-A-Wish ever did, but it was one of the least expensive because everybody wanted to donate their time and energy to help somebody. And I think what it is that he just really inspired in people something. I mean, people, I feel like, want to have something to believe in, something good to look towards. And so Eric kind of started to personify that to people. And so everyone wanted to help. And so then the Seattle Sounders were on board, and they wanted to help. And, you know, the folks at the Space Needle wanted to help. And then right before the wish happened, we were notified that someone was donating their DeLorean for him to ride in that day. And then we were told that we would have a police escort to help us get there. And then what became really remarkable was that the police department said, well, we have to do a training. And it actually happens to be scheduled for this day. We have to do a training as if the president was in town. So we're just going to use Electron Boy's wish for our training. And so he had this, they shut down all the freeways when he'd go across them and, you know, stop traffic, and the lights were going and the sirens, and people were cheering and yelling, and it was just a real big deal.
Now, this started, he got the phone call from Spider-Man. Was he at home or was he at school?
We were at home when he got the phone call from Spider-Man. We all knew it was going to happen, and he didn't. And so he thought that he was just going to get presented his costume. So he was a little overwhelmed that all the Make-A-Wish people were there anyway. What's that? And so when he got the phone call, he was just kind of a little bit like a deer in headlights, and he was a little scared. And I remember we got his costume on, and he kind of turned to me, and he's like, Charlotte, help me. And I'm like, you're going to be fine. You can do this. You're Electron Boy. But, you know, at first he was a little nervous because Eric was, I mean, he had a lot of things going on with him. And one of the things was that, you know, kind of mentally, he really believed this. He believed that this was all very real. And so for him, he was kind of nervous about Dr. Dark and Blackout Boy. So at first he was a little scared, but then as he kind of defeated them at each step in his journey, he got real empowered. And then at the very end, and if anyone has seen any of the footage that's online when he delivers his blow to Blackout Boy with his lightsaber, Eric moves faster than I've ever seen him move.
I saw that he pounded him. I'm glad he had armor on.
Oh, I did too. I know. I almost tried to stop Eric. I was like, oh my goodness, he's really going to hurt him. But he kind of, I think went after him with all of the might that he had right then, and that was just kind of, it was pretty inspiring to see he got that jazzed up.
One of the reasons I wanted you on here because I talk about the impact that we can have. You know, I'm a clown. I'm a superhero. I'm everything. And I know you can do good deeds without the costume, but, you know, something about when you're in the costume, especially with the superhero costume, you're expecting good things to happen. You see somebody walk up dressed as Superman, you don't expect them to shoplift, you know. You expect them to do something good. And we talked about last week with the heart heroes, so they give the capes to the young kids with a congenital heart disease, and it helps them find their inner hero. And Eric is just the personification of finding that inner hero. As I watch this video, it's in 3 or 4 sections that I've pulled up on YouTube there. You could see it, you know, every time they did the handshake and they said energize, he energized. It's like, you know, he's really getting stronger. Every time he does his handshake, you see him just, you know. And it's like, you know,
he did. He absolutely did.
I've seen the videos, and like throughout every step, I saw him get more excited, more into it. I mean, I can't imagine how much fun that was for him to lift his spirits.
And
it was amazing.
Lightning Lad. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to work with Eric and keep him focused and keep him going. I was very impressed with how he just kept things on track and kept Eric's spirits up through the whole thing. It's just amazing.
He really did, and it really helped because at first, you know, Eric, he was a little scared. He thought it was real, and he was a little nervous, and Lightning did a really good job. He was his cheerleader, and then he'd step back and let Eric do it and get all the glory, and Eric, it was just inspiring. And I tell you what, when we pulled him to pieces down energy, what was that? Speaking
of glory, the first step I seen in the video, you left the house and they went by Eric's school.
Yes.
wanted to see his face. It didn't really show his face in the video, but I can only imagine the response that Eric had as the car pulled into the school and all his friends, all his classmates standing out front with signs that say, "Yay, Electron Boy, we love you, Electron Boy." And
well, it was amazing, yeah. I mean, what kid, if you got to ride in a DeLorean and have a motorcade, what kid wouldn't want to go by his school? And that was a last-minute thing. Eric asked, can I go by the school? And so my mom had asked Make-A-Wish, and they said, well, we don't know. So they contacted the police department. They're like, well, we'll have to rework the motorcade, but we'll make it happen. And then someone told the school he was coming by, so the teachers had all gathered that together, and the kids were so excited for him.
And I know they were putting in some overtime because the signs had pictures of him in the costume.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially that was I know they had that at Puget Sound Energy. They had sign-making parties, and that was completely the employees just deciding to do it on their own.
I'm like, he hadn't been to the costume an hour, and they had pictures of him already all across Seattle.
I know. I remember. I couldn't believe that either. We got to Puget Sound Energy, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people standing cheering him on, and I'm thinking, where did all these people come from? And they had signs of him with pictures of him, and it just blew us away. We were just swept up in it.
The printers were burning up, printing them things out to go on them signs. I know.
Yeah.
Well, then he goes to the Seattle Sounders, and I was thoroughly impressed. He gets there, and they had everything set up where they bring him in, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And they told him to do his power move that Spider-Man taught him, and the doors flew open. Mm-hmm. And here come these athletes, and they are just playing it so straight. Oh, it was terrifying. The lights were out. You saved us. And it looked like they were handing autographed the player cards with their autographs on them or something as they were going out there stuff. And he's just putting, taking this all in like, wow, this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really great. They did a great job. It was pretty funny how some of them, really played it up like, yeah, they were scared and, it was so dark and they didn't know what to do. And he bought it. He believed the whole thing 100%. It was just real sweet.
And then they get out to the field, and then at this point, I'm thinking this is like the best Make-A-Wish ever. They presented him with his own jersey, and I didn't see if they had given him his own number or anything. And they said we're gonna be able to win the game. This an autographed soccer ball and taking pictures with the team and everything.
And then the Jumbotron turns on.
And that was scary, let me tell you.
He was like,
I'm like, dun, dun, dun.
When the Jumbotron comes, you saw it in his face. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, he was. I think we were all a little scared there. My little ones were. I think they were 3 and 5, so they were both a little. No, they were 2 and 4. So my 2-year-old was definitely a little panicked at that point. Because that Jumbotron's pretty big and it's pretty loud, and those bad guys look pretty bad. But Eric, we're like, you could do it, Eric, you could do it. So he kind of puffed himself up, and after a while, he kind of went from cowering to strutting.
Lightning Lad said, they don't know what they're getting into, He said, this Electron Boy will stop you, won't you? And it's like, you just see it come on in his head. He's like, that's right. I'm the hero of this story. He's like, this is my comic book, and it's just like the light came on his head. Let's go kick some tail. And then they move on to the back through town. The drive through town, it's just like you see the police cars lined up and down the road. I can only imagine what the awe in his face and the whole city shut down for him.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Then you get to the Puget Sound, and they've got the I guess it was the president of the company that was up at the bucket truck.
Yes, I think so.
And his sound clip actually makes the beginning of the Electron Boy theme song that's out there. You'll never get away with this. Electron Boy will stop you.
Yeah. Yeah, they used this quote. He was happy.
Batman, But and of course, he wasn't sure what to do again, and they said, Electron Boy, show him what to do, and he does his little move, and all of a sudden it starts coming down, and the people just go crazy. And I'm like,
yeah, it was great.
Wow. What was the energy like at that moment? I mean, it was one of the biggest highs I think anyone had ever felt. It was happy. It had a life of its own. It was just magnetized. I mean, it felt like you feel maybe if you won the Olympics, and of course, the whole thing is just staged, but it felt very real. And then they take him inside there, and they gave him a page with his own comic book drawn on the page of Electron Boy saving the day. And of course, he turned the power on, and here comes the broadcast on the wall again because they didn't have a jumbotron. But the second time that happened, he was ready for it.
Oh yeah. You start to see in the video he gets pretty cocky at that point. He's like, they don't know what's coming for him, and he goes, no, they don't.
Yeah, I mean the first time the jumbotron scared him, but when he came on the wall there at the Puget Sound, he's like, this again?
Mm-hmm.
He just had this look like, I'm fixing to go take care of this. And then they load up and they head to the Space Needle, and I was thoroughly impressed. They had built this up. They're locked in the elevator and everything. And they had it set up on a security thing where he had to get the card and scan it to get the elevator open. He hit the button, and so it wasn't just him going up and hitting the button. There was actually something to it. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, it was.
And of course, he had to fight the bad guys before he could get inside and rescue them. And when he hit them with the sword, they froze. And I'm like, how cool is that? And then he was going to stay and beat him up. And look at him save these people. He was going to town with that lightsaber.
He was. Like, that was the time.
And I'm watching this. It's like, at the beginning you see Eric, and you could tell that there's some physical, ailments to him. But he was stronger. At the end there, he had found something inside of him. And it's like he wasn't Eric anymore. He wasn't the boy that woke up that morning with the pains and the aches and stuff from his illness. He was Electron Boy.
He was. It's true.
It was such a neat thing. Then, of course, after the Puget Sound people came in, the mayor came. It wasn't the mayor. It was the city council person. And gave him the key to the city. Mm-hmm. And then Spider-Man came and inducted him into the Superhero Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And they declared that day Electron Boy Day.
Yeah, April 29th, Electron Boy Day, yes.
Is that every year?
I think it was just that 1 year, but of course, our family celebrate it every year. Yeah.
Oh, of course. And, of course, then there's cakes, and there's got pictures of them sitting on the police motorcycles, and reporters, I don't know how many reporters interviewed him that day. They showed so many different, it looked like all the news crews were there.
Yeah. All of them were there.
And he definitely was coming out of his shell. I got to giggle. I mean, one of the reporters, he said, I was so excited I peed myself.
Yeah, he did.
Like, kids don't hold anything back. He says, I was so excited I peed myself. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes left here before I'm going to close out with the special closing here. So this is all gone on, and of course he went back and got the Yellow Scarf Award at the Sounders game as Electron Boy, and got his own Electron Boy comic book and so much. Electron Boy pretty much defined the rest of his life, didn't it?
Well, it did to some extent. Of course, it did quiet down, and we got just back to our family life. But what it did is it really did give him a lot of energy and gave us a lot of positive things to look forward to. It was really hard when the wish was over. We were told that there might be a letdown, and sometimes kids' health gets worse afterwards. And so me and my friends were trying to think of a way to keep the wish going. So well, maybe he can come talk to my son's preschool. But, the next day we found out someone had created a fan books page for him, and it already had 600 members, and it was someone we'd never heard of, and then it just kind of took on the life of its own. But the amount of support we've had from the community and the well-wishers and the people who have similar stories, and the people that it's touched, it's been really inspiring, and it's been helpful. I mean, when we lost Eric in September, it was so awful, and just to have so many people to talk to and so much support, it did help. It made it feel not alone. I mean, when you lose someone you love, it's always hard because you feel like the world should stop, and it doesn't. But with my little brother, it kind of felt like it did for a minute, and that there was comfort in that.
Well, we're going to carry this over into our after show. We got 15 minutes after the show goes off of live that we can go ahead and wrap it up, because I'm sure there's some other things that want to be covered. I want to ask, when Eric passed away, was he buried as Eric or was he buried as Electron Boy?
As Eric.
As Eric? I wondered that, because Electron Boy lives on, doesn't he?
Electron Boy lives on, and and Eric was ours, and he started as in our hearts, and he's still there. I mean, the Electron Boy thing, it was fun, it was amazing, and that's Electron Boy is for everybody, but Eric was for us, and he was one of the most special children I've ever met. And
I wondered about that. Eric passed away the same week as a young lady that I did a fundraiser for last summer. They died within a few days of each other. I'm like, wow. And I, tell myself, Maddie's okay because Electron Boy's up there watching her,
Yeah.
But, it's, I want to thank you for being here. And like I said, we're going to go in a little bit afterward. Just if anybody wants to call in, the number is 917-889-3317, because we're going to ask a few more questions and wrap this up out of the after show. But I want to go on ahead and, instead of my regular closing theme, we got something special planned for this week. And since this is Electron Boy Remembrance Day, today we're going to close out with Electron Boy's theme song. So here we go.
You will not get away with it. Electron Boy will stop you. Only you, Electron Boy. Like a flash.
I love that song.
It is a good song.
Did they actually play that on the air out there, on the radio out there?
What was that?
Did they actually play that song on the radio out there?
I don't know if it ever was on the radio. I've heard it on YouTube and things like that. I don't know if it was ever on an actual radio station. It may have been, but I didn't hear it if it was.
Now, I understand that before Eric passed, he had the opportunity to meet some of Seattle's other superheroes. Is that true?
That he did what? I'm sorry?
I was told Eric had a chance to meet some of Seattle's other real-life superheroes like Phoenix Jones before he passed away.
I don't think he did, no. I know we had found out about Phoenix Jones, and, he had wanted to meet him, but I don't think he actually did have the chance to do that.
I didn't know if Phoenix actually got a chance to meet him or if he met him in his civilian identity or what, but I knew that just like one of my friends, Skyman, who usually calls in on the show, had mentioned about Phoenix Jones contacting him or trying to get in contact with him. So there was a couple things that towards the end we had tried to, but he just started getting so sick that it was too hard to do much. Your little sidekick there is having fun too, isn't she? I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this with us. I mean, you can watch the videos and you can see how exciting this was, but to hear it firsthand, it's amazing. I'm just the impact of this Make-A-Wish. I mean, Make-A-Wish does some great things, but the impact of what they did on this one for Eric and for your family, amazing. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. So amazing. And, it was amazing for Eric, but it was also so great for us because it gave us the strength that we needed, when he was gone. But it was absolutely amazing. It was definitely, just a day unlike any other day. And then it just kind of kept going. And the amount of people that it's inspired and helped and touched has been awesome too. I know
when somebody would say, why dress up in a costume and do something like that, if they could ask Eric, what good was it for Lightning Lad to dress up in that costume? What good was it for Spider-Man to dress up in that costume and go out there and do that? They could have done what they did without the costume, but it was that symbolism that stepping out of reality into a new reality, into fiction there, that made it so much more powerful, in my opinion, and it made it so much more fun.
Powerful. Yes, absolutely, so much more powerful, and also it just so believable, and what it stood for to Eric too. I mean, it wasn't something that he was doing to get attention or for his own personal gain. He was doing it because in his mind he believed he was helping people. He believed the world needed a hero. And from the response we get from people on Facebook sending us messages like, I'll sleep better tonight knowing Electron Boy is out there. Well, of course, he didn't really save the Sounders. And people, they know that, but they don't want to know that. On some level, they want to believe in it. And it just shows that we, as a human race, there's so much good in us that we want to believe in heroic things and these wonderful things. And I've had a lot of comfort from that the fact that we all want to pull together for something is pretty huge.
Oh, yeah, I know. Just when I posted it today, this was the tribute day to Eric, who had left us too soon. I had 4 or 5 people contact me and go, what happened to Electron Boy? Because they knew who he was, but they didn't know that he had passed away. And when I told them, it's like a balloon letting the air out of it. It's like, oh, wow, you can just feel the words through the screen that they wrote, it just deflated them. It's like the Electron Boy's gone, wow. But I want to thank you for sharing that with us. Thank your family for sharing Eric with us, and of course thank the Make-A-Wish for letting Eric be the superhero he wanted to be. Anything else you'd like to put out there before we go ahead and close this out?
I think you've really summed it up well. I mean, we're so thankful to Make-A-Wish, and we're so thankful to all of his Facebook fans and everyone who helped make everything possible. And everyone who has continued to give my family, the love and support that's helped us through this time. And we're glad that, we were able to share that part of him with the world. I wish that I could have shared Eric with the world because he was such an amazing little boy. That Electron boy was definitely pretty awesome, too.
Yep. I know the week that he passed away, Silver Sentinel, one of our regular callers, allowed me to present him with a posthumous Silver Seal of Approval, which is it's a pretty big no prize in our community. It's just for somebody that's done something right, and he definitely did something right. Even if it was make believe, he did something because he inspired people.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I want to go on ahead and before I wrap up, and Moon Knight, do you have? We've kind of overrun you here, but there's anything you'd like to ask or say before we go on ahead and tease next week's show?
Okay.
No.
I'd like to say I found out about Electron Boy a few months, about 5 months ago. I've seen videos online, and my sister, she is just amazed by his story. And I just want to say that Electron Boy has given her, my sister has cancer, and Electron Boy has given her so much heart and matter. She's like, oh my God, I can't tell you how much that little boy felt her. She thought the whole Make-A-Wish operation, the whole thing just gave him so much hope. And it was, me personally, I think it was one of the greatest days in anyone's life to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the legend of Electron Boy will live on in our hearts, and the legend of Eric will live on in your family hearts.
Absolutely.
See, Charlotte, he's still fighting. He's still fighting the good fight there. He's got somebody else getting strength that needs it.
Yeah, well, my best to your sister and to your family as well.
Thank you.
I want to go on ahead. I've only got about a few minutes there, so I need to go ahead and touch base on next week's show. Next week we're going to be it's going to be moving on from children to animals. We got the handler coming in. She's going to talk about her work with the animals, especially with training dogs and such like that. The 11th of December, we got Reggie Byrne from Cape Watch. He's going to be joining us about the project he's working on there. And then on the 18th of December, Brandy Roseth is going to be with us, and Power Boy, talking about ALD awareness and other of our young superheroes out there. And Power Boy's story is every bit as inspiring as Eric's. It's just, it's a little overwhelming doing back-to-back, I tell you what. So you're welcome to call in and be part of that, or at least listen in, Charlotte, you and your family, and learn about Power Boy, because he's carrying on, fighting that good fight. Another young heart out there doing it. The 25th of December, we've got a pre-recorded Christmas message we're going to put up. I'm going to have some Christmas music, and anybody that wants to send in a Christmas greeting from the Real Life Superhero community, just email that to crossfire_the_crusader at live.com, and we will get those mixed in with our Christmas music. And then we're going to start off New Year's the same as we did last year with a guest from Down Under. Last year we had Captain Australia on New Year's. This year we've got the Fauna Fighters. On the 8th of January, Purple Rain, another Seattle hero, is going to be joining us to talk about domestic violence. Martin Luther King Day. I'm trying to get Captain Black in here the 15th of January to talk about peaceful resistance and use of force. We've got some others that are going to be in on that. And then on the 22nd, we're bringing back Artistroy for another Gadgeteer devices type of show. We're going to talk about surveillance devices, and we're going to be joined on that show by the Eye, our private detective friend. And then the 29th of December, as far as I've gone 2 months out, we're going to have Red Voltage and the Black Monday Society. So I have got some exciting guests coming up for the next 2 months, and I'm very, very excited. This second year of Superhero Academy is starting off very well and very strong with the Heart Heroes and Electron Boy, and moving on from there. So, Charlotte, thank you again for being here, and tell your whole family thank you for everything. And I salute you. I salute your family, and I salute Electron Boy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of Superhero Academy, I'm going to go ahead and close things out. I will see you next week. Same cross time, same cross channel. Have a great day.
God bless.